This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight in the South today, the Mosgiel Memorial RSA restaurant and bar is to close 4 years after a $1.2 million redevelopment. Direct jet flights between Wanaka Airport and other New Zealand centres could be a reality by 2025. And South Dunedin rumbled to the sound of motorcycles over the weekend as a bikie gang with a difference took a fundraising ride. Good evening, I'm Anastasia Munzer. The Mosgiel Memorial RSA restaurant and bar are set to close 4 years after the club's complex was redeveloped at a cost of $1.2 million. Mosgiel RSA chairman Peter Ames says they can't continue to trade unsustainably.
Just 4 years after a $1.2 million makeover, the Mosgiel RSA restaurant and bar is set to close.
Well, unfortunately, it's a fairly sad day for the Mosgiel RSA. We're having to close down the operating elements of the club, and that is the bar and restaurant, due to the inability to cover the overheads and expenses of the club from the return we're getting from those operating elements.
Ames says they've taken a proactive step in an attempt to stave off any collateral damage from the Hospitality Arms closure. He says higher operating costs and an unsustainable commercial operation are key contributors to the decision to close.
So it's a combination of both increased expenses and decreased income from the activities we have. So we're closing the operating elements of the club. All the rest of the elements of the club remain open, and we'll go into a consultation process over the next couple of months with all of the members to see what they want to have as an operating model going forward.
Major Ames says it's not only their club feeling financial pressure, and says dwindling membership is a major factor, but he says they're keeping some services going.
And we took a prudent approach to be proactive in terms of closing it, to protect the value of that we have within the assets, and to remain keep a capability and financial capability going forward, so we can do something with that, and we'll decide that over the next couple of months.
He says the club remains in an overall sound financial position.
The last count as of Sunday we had 1,302 members, so that's a really big asset base. The number of members who are actually frequenting the club on a regular basis is about 15%. So that therein lies some of the problems. We have a really good solid base, and we're really grateful for the annual fees or subs that people pay to be members of the club. But we need the activity in the club itself to keep it going, and that's just not been there over the last 2 years.
RSA Otago Southland District President Jennifer Glover says the closures are very sad but reflect a sensible approach, and she remains positive about the future. Time is being called at the bar in early June. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A dairy shed was damaged after a fire on Green Island Bush Road overnight. A Fire and Emergency New Zealand spokesman says the fire was on a property between Blackhead Road and Churchill Road. It was well involved when a fire crew arrived, and emergency services were alerted to the blaze about 10 minutes past midnight. The blaze was extinguished after about a half an hour and isn't being treated as suspicious. Directed jet flights between Wanaka Airport and other New Zealand centres could be a reality by 2025. The Queenstown Airport Corporation released a suggestion yesterday for a dual Queenstown-Wanaka Airport arrangement. However, an urban designer is saying it would be better to scrap both airports and build a new one on cheaper land elsewhere in central Otago.
Quiet for the moment, but in 6 years' time, sleepy Wanaka Airport could well be hearing the roar of jet planes, bringing in close to 500,000 passengers a year, if the Queenstown Airport Corporation have their way. Yesterday's proposal came just hours before a public meeting in Frankton, where urban designer David Jerram suggested building an entirely new airport on much cheaper land outside of both Queenstown and Wanaka. He says the 37 hectares on which Queenstown Airport stands could fetch $1 billion if developed for housing. According to Jerram, a new airport elsewhere would be better suited for the projected population growth in the area.
The reason we've probably concentrated on the Cromwell Terrace Basin is because all the population statistics and the growth of the population is all heading for Central Otago.
Jerem disputes the Airport Corporation's figure of passengers to Wanaka, saying it could easily be much more, up to 4 million a year. And he says an independent study is needed.
Somebody is going to have to carry out a serious study of other airport locations, because QAC certainly didn't do it.
The proposal of not developing Wanaka's airport, scrapping Frankton's airport and freeing up the valuable land is getting the thumbs up from some Queenstown residents as well.
But what they're trying to say is that it is feasible economically and financially. And if you get over that barrier, then you can start thinking more by ranging about where you go to next, what you might do with both where you might locate it, but also what you can do with the land that's freed up as a result.
Given the planning and construction that would be required at Wanaka's airport, it's thought to be unlikely jet flights will begin before 2025. In Queenstown and Wanaka, for the South Today.
More free car parking spaces are set to become paid ones as the shake-up of Dunedin's parking network continues. The Dunedin City Council is proposing a new set of changes to parking around Vogel Street, the University of Otago and Otago Polytechnic. Under the proposal, a number of free parking spaces will become paid as a way to deter all-day parking. Councillors are set to vote to approve the changes for public consultation at a full council meeting today. South Dunedin rumbled to the sound of motorcycles over the weekend as a large group of riders set out to raise money for returned servicemen and women. About 30 riders set off from Monticello Veterans Home and Hospital for the 5th Ride of Respect, which raises money to assist the RSA.
Rolling out all in the name of charity, motorcycle riders setting off from Monticello Veterans Home and Hospital over the weekend for the annual Ride of Respect.
Each area will raise money for their local RSAs. We're donating to the Tapanui RSA tomorrow, which is where we'll end the ride. And just as a coincidence, there's a World War II vet there that's celebrating his 98th birthday, so we'll give him he doesn't know it yet, we'll give him a cake and have a fairly rousing rendition of happy birthday.
It was one of about a dozen rides happening around the country, open to anyone who wanted to get involved. It's the 5th run for the Dunedin chapter, which is growing in popularity.
Longer than that in the UK, that's where it originated from. They have a major ride and they've raised about $500,000 for veterans charities over there. 4 Kiwis over a beer on the west coast come up with the idea to run the ride over here as well, and it's getting bigger every year.
One of the destinations this year was the Waihau Forks Hotel near Waimate.
There was a guy there who went away to war, left a bottle of beer behind the bar, said he'd drink it when he got back, Ted Diavern. Unfortunately, he died in Crete, so the bottle's still sitting there, so they're actually raising money to make a memorial to Ted and to all sort of rural men and women that went to war and didn't come back, so we'll be donating to that cause as well.
Harriet says they managed to raise around $1,600 over the weekend in Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. With duck hunting season beginning this Saturday, Fish and Game New Zealand is urging strict gun safety. And the Christchurch New Brighton Museum is making sure the local boys deployed in World War I are not forgotten.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren. His Garador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
At Green Island Medical Centre, we are committed in caring for our future and present generations. We know as a young person, coming to the doctors can be quite daunting. Our highly skilled doctors and nurses will make your experience one where you will leave with a smile. Your health is very important to us.
say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent, and where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
Oh, help! Don't suffer in silence. Call Sunny Chin, Chi Master Body Technician, for structural, muscular, emotional bodywork. Phone 03 4250 606 for all your pain relief.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Shall I make some scones?
Welcome back. Fish and Game New Zealand is urging strict gun safety when duck hunting season begins this Saturday. They say safe behaviour with firearms is even more important following the Christchurch mosque shootings. Fish and Game say hunters must do their utmost to act in a safe and responsible way at all times with their weapons. A full team of rangers will be out ensuring everyone is following the rules, and police will also accompany rangers this year. A small community museum in Christchurch is making sure the local boys who went off to World War I are not forgotten. Many of the young soldiers never came home, but the New Brighton Museum is keeping their memory real.
They're lovely stories. They're stories about what they did in their civilian life, these boys that went off to war, and they went off with all the glory, you know, World War I. Oh, whoopee, we're going for a great adventure, isn't this? And off they went, and of course, only a few of them came home again. And their parents and all of that, they were all people that, you know, came from the community. When we look through the book, there's so many names we know. Our accountant came in and spotted this guy. He said, oh, that's my granddad, he said. He was really, really taken on with that. The books themselves were done by history students from the university. They spent several years researching and doing the books, and they got all the information, put them into books and gave them to the New Brighton Library. And we thought, for the 100th anniversary of Armistice Day, that we would like a copy of them. New Brighton Library lent us the books, and we plagiarised it and decided that we needed a copy ourselves. So they didn't mind, and we've got the books on the New Brighton boys, because they were the boys that went away to war. And none of them were famous in their own rights, but they all went away and they were part of our communities. There's a lot of names that we know. We look through and say, oh look, that must have been so-and-so's dad, you know. Because Brighton people never leave Brighton. They left all their families and things behind. They had big farewells. New Brighton at those days was a borough. We weren't part of the city council. We were our own borough. And so we had a mayor down here, Captain Ells. And he would have seen all the boys away. There's quite a lot of photos of them having their farewell things with the Borough Council, being so proud of them all, and off they went, yeah. It was a big adventure, and it certainly wasn't when you see what they went through, yeah. The museum started off, there was 2 or 3 really, you know, motivated ladies, and they had a big photo collection. They had collected it from when they were raising money from the pier. So they had this all housed in people's garages, and then they got a room above the shops down the road. Then when this building came up, this is a historic building. It's the old Presbyterian church. So it was perfect for the purpose. So we rented it, and it became our home. We've got a sort of a committee that have been looking at, wondering whether we should stay here or go to another premise in the mall, but general consensus is this is a historic building. We might not be right in everybody's face. It's amazing how many people say we didn't know there was a museum because we're not in the mall. But once they know we're here, and we do get bus loads of people come, well not bus loads, but van loads of people come from old people's homes, and nostalgic trip for them if they've lived in Brighton. They love it. For us, for the museum, it's very important to keep Anzac alive. And it's just wonderful, it really is. It's quite emotional, and people do like looking at it because they do find their relations in it. So it's so important for us to keep this history going.
After the break on the South Today, we meet a couple who in their 80s lived independently but were forced to make changes after an unexpected accident. And we take a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent. And where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
The Green Island Medical Centre offers everything for your family's needs. Whether you are travelling or coming in to discuss health symptoms, our medical staff provide the best of care. We offer Manage My Health, making booking an appointment or requesting a repeat prescription a breeze. We welcome families like yours. Give us a call today, phone 03 488 2754.
Autumn is here and it's too late to sow seed. But don't despair, Ready Lawn is the answer to all your garden woes. Call Ready Lawn today on 027 22 88 190.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garrador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren, his Garrador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
Most of us have spots on our skin. That's quite normal. Finding skin cancer as early as possible is key to successful treatment. Book in for a free check of 1 to 2 moles or a comprehensive full body check with the Mole Doctor in Waverley.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Ricky here from Beds R Us Dunedin, your local sleep specialists. Come in and try our huge touchscreen sleep selector, taking the hard work out of choosing the right bed for you. See you here.
Oh, help! Don't suffer in silence. Call Sunny Chin, Chi Master Body Technician, for structural, muscular, emotional bodywork. Phone 03 4250 606 for all your pain relief.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. MoleMap is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
Welcome back. For many, a residential care facility is their final home, but as the number of elderly New Zealanders increases, there's concerns there won't be enough beds to meet demand. Today we meet a couple who were well into their 80s and living independently before an unexpected accident changed everything.
Still enjoying playing the ivories, Marie Miller is one of 93 residents at Dunedin's Radius Fulton Centre. The rest home has a range of residential care for elderly residents. Some live here after a gradual decline, while others following an unexpected accident.
I just lost my balance, fell in the kitchen and smashed my right hip. I had 2 months in public hospital, and when it came time to be discharged, I just knew I couldn't go home back in Pine Hill. There's too many steps to negotiate.
Sprague has had the good fortune of having a family member help him and his wife to find a place in aged care.
One of my daughters had been trying for weeks before I even had the fall, knowing we were getting to the stage where we should shift. And she fluked this wonderful home.
Like many rest homes, there is also a dementia care unit where his wife, who has Alzheimer's, is also living.
I'm in what they call the Mackenzie block. Margaret's in the Glen Eden. But the whole thing, you're under the one roof. You don't have to cross your heads if it's bad weather or anything like that. And every second night I endeavour to have a meal with her. I can come and go as I like, you know.
Sprague's roots are in the suburb of Pine Hill, and he's still adjusting to living in the south of the city.
No, it's a whole turnaround. I've always been a North Ender all my life. Suddenly faced with the south end of the city. But I mean, it's just life, you know, these things happen.
Radius Fulton is just one of over 60 residential care facilities in Otago and Southland. In Dunedin, for the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The Mosgiel Memorial RSA chairman Peter Amies is sad to announce their restaurant and bars closing 4 years after a $1.2 million redevelopment. Direct jet flights between Wanaka Airport and other New Zealand centres could be a reality by 2025 if a group of supporters get their way. And South Dunedin rumbled to the sound of motorcycles over the weekend as a large group of riders set out to raise money for the returned servicemen and women. And now a look at tonight's ODT and what's happening in the ODT tomorrow. Welcome, Phil.
Hi, here's a lovely picture with Harry Finch from Abbotsford, the 3-year-old. He's off with his family to the States soon for a special operation. Which we all hope will allow him to walk. He's not able to at the moment, so we can read about that in the paper tomorrow.
Awesome.
So that is awesome. Fresh pages tomorrow, 3 of them. Onion power, recipes with onions. Also an article about how taste changes with age, and family recipes from Italy, as well as the usuals.
Very interesting.
Yes, indeed. Now, the Wanaka Airport, we're taking that a stage further for tomorrow's paper. The cost, getting it up to scratch, it's massive, as you can imagine. And there is some talk that as Queenstown started slowly with overseas flights from about 2030 could well be a possibility into Wanaka, which was pleasing for some and not pleasing for others. There we go. On the sport front, the Highlanders first 5 situation, Steve Hepburn's looking at that. There's been some developments there. And in cricket, Hamish Rutherford's doing well in Britain and is going to be turning out for a New Zealand 11.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks for that, Phil. And now for a time to look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by MoleMap.
Beginning with the southern view, the joy of kicking through leaves. Looking at the situation, a westerly airflow blows over the far south while an anticyclone develops in the eastern Tasman Sea. The anticyclone will spread over New Zealand later this week. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport can expect fine weather and 17-degree highs. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim, you're also in for a sunny day with a slightly warmer high of 18. In Canterbury, you can expect a few clouds, plan for a high of 17 degrees in Kaikoura and Christchurch, Ashburton, you're one higher on 18. In the southern towns, plan for moderate westerlies and cloud increasing right across the region. Balclutha, the Catlins, Lumsden and Gore should all reach 16 degrees. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes, light winds and mostly fine weather are prevailing conditions for this region. Wanaka and Alexandra should reach 16 degrees. Queenstown should be 1 degree cooler on 15, while Te Anau you're looking at a high of 14 with a few clouds flitting about. Up to the northern towns Timaru and Wamaru you have light winds and are expected to be fine with 14 degrees. Similar in Twizel and Omarama you both should be prepared for 15. In Dunedin, fine and cold tonight with an overnight low of 3. Sunny and milder tomorrow with light northerly winds, looking at a high of 17 and a low of 11. A period of cloud and showers on Thursday with moderate colder southwesterlies, clearing late in the day with a high of 14 and a low of 7 degrees. Heading to Invercargill, some cloud tonight and an overnight low of 7. Sunny periods and some cloud tomorrow, milder temperatures but showers developing tomorrow night. Plan for a 15-degree high and a low of 8. Showers clearing and sunny periods increasing on Thursday with colder southwesterlies. A high of 13 and an overnight low of 5. And that's all for the news this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.